Well, good afternoon there from the happiest place on earth, sunny Southern California. We're back, standing in front of Disneyland, where we've had quite a few fun adventures so far this year in 2025. But where I realized yesterday, as I was standing out here, that so far this year, I have hardly set eyes on, much less set foot in, Disneyland's sister park right across the way, Disney California Adventure. Something I realized must absolutely be rectified right now, because in just a few weeks, on February 8th, 2025, which will be the 24th anniversary of Disney California Adventure, although technically when it opened it was called Disney's California Adventure, one of the cutest, quaintest attractions in this park will be going away, and I won't be here. I will be out of town. So this is my last chance to experience a little DCA magic that supposedly is going away forever. So we're headed in now, and we don't have far to go, because what I want to see is right here on Buena Vista Street. The 1920s to 30s themed area right here at the beginning of the park, all themed around the early Los Angeles of Walt Disney, which opened in June of 2012. That's right, none of this was here when DCA first opened. It was completely different looking, and we can and will get into that another time, because if I start talking about that, we'd be here for days and days, and I wouldn't have any time for the attraction that I came to see. Suffice it to say that this was a lot cornier, a lot cheesier, and a lot more low budget at first in Disney's California Adventure, but after 2012, we got Buena Vista Street, which as you can see is impeccably themed and full of all kinds of 1920s Los Angeles details, when all of this became much less carnival looking and much more of a tribute to Walt Disney packing up his suitcase, leaving Kansas City and heading out to California in 1923 to build his dreams. That is when I started warming up to the place. And although now I'm nostalgic for the original DCA just because it was so wacky and weird and sort of bargain basement feeling, I must say, this park is infinitely better as it is now. Finally, this place felt themed. We got the Carthay Circle Theater building over here. The central hub that was called Sunshine Plaza just became Carthay Circle. We got a beautiful new fountain over here that was much more on theme. And all the buildings on that sort of generic entryway street got completely reskinned to create Buena Vista Street itself, so that you actually felt like you stepped out of modern California and into a California adventure, making this finally serve as sort of the Main Street USA for DCA. But DCA's new main drag, the brand new Buena Vista Street, also got its own attraction. Introducing DCA's Red Car Trolley. That's right, on June 15th, 2012, when the brand new Buena Vista Street opened, the Red Car Trolley debuted here, a throwback to the old Pacific Electric Red Car that had been crisscrossing Southern California and the Los Angeles area in particular since 1901, and by the 1920s in Hollywood were already an iconic symbol of Southern California and LA in particular. Like Eddie Valiant says in Roger Rabbit, this is Los Angeles, we got the greatest public transportation system in the world. I mean, clearly, as you can see, Buena Vista Street itself is too narrow for the cars and buses you would have seen crisscrossing Los Angeles in the 20s and 30s, but adding the red car over here was not just adding an authentic, iconic touch from Los Angeles' past, but was a way of adding way more color and motion and life to the brand new scene of Buena Vista Street. And albeit the red car trolleys at DCA are a little slow moving, for safety reasons, it's still a pretty narrow street. It wasn't designed with red cars or vehicles in mind at all. They really added that something that was missing to this street that sells the illusion that we're really back in Los Angeles in the 1920s or early 30s. What the heck, Horace Horsecollar? I've never just seen him walking around anywhere, much less walking around DCA. Now, before I say anything else about the red car and its backstory here at DCA, I must cut to the chase and tell you, yes, it is in fact this attraction, the Red Car Trolley, that is going away on DCA's birthday, February 8th, 2025, in just a week and a half or so. And the reason is that the Red Car Trolley here, when it was first installed, left Buena Vista Street right here by the turnstiles, right by the main entrance of DCA, traveled, as it still does, down these tracks, down Buena Vista Street, through the Carthay Circle, the sort of main hub over here of DCA, then down through what is now called Hollywood Land, just like the old original Pacific Electric red car used to do, right down the center of Hollywood Boulevard here, where it still makes a stop to let passengers on or off in front of the Art of Animation, and then making a hard right turn over here onto Sunset Boulevard, traveling back in the day right in front of what was the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And then originally it would keep going down Sunset Boulevard, taking another right turn right in here in front of what was, again, the Tower of Terror, the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So once themed to the whole 1920s LA thing, it fit right in, or 30s really, where back in the day there used to be another station very similar to the one sort of at the beginning of the park, beginning of the route, just down here past the Tower of Terror, where this whole area basically used to dead end into Bugs Land beyond the little trolley station. Now, after they announced the closure of Tower of Terror and the fact that it was going to turn into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, they demolished the trolley station that was over here in 2016. And as you can see, after that, the whole Avengers campus opened up back here, replacing Bugs Land. And as you can see nowadays, at the dead end of these tracks, you run straight into Avengers Campus, which opened up in 2021. And as you can see, the trolley tracks today are running right into that building, right into the Avengers headquarters underneath the Quinjet over there, where you can see Black Widow is up there doing stunts and kicking some butt, kicking some names, doing all those Avengers type of things. Before Avengers Campus was here, there was just sort of some plain doors where the red cars would travel backstage to their maintenance facilities and their recharging stations. I'll get to that in a bit. For the night, as you can see, they incorporated the tracks into the new Avengers headquarters building, and this building is where all the trouble begins. Because right now, this whole thing's just a facade. Behind it, there really isn't anything except those backstage facilities for the Red Car Trolley. But now, they're finally about to expand the Avengers campus with 2 new rides, and I believe one of them, Avengers Infinity Defense, will be built right behind this very facade here, meaning that the backstage infrastructure for the red cars, where they go through that building right there, are going to be demolished to make way for Avengers Progress. Just when I got used to that red car trolley being here, they're taking it away from me. Now, there were 2 red cars here at DCA up until very recently. Number 623, that's the one we've been looking at all day, and number 717, which, and apparently nobody's really noticed, has already disappeared from Buena Vista Street and from the tracks here at DCA. And neither one of them is full size. They're both built on basically a 4/5 scale platform. And even though you see these electrical wires running here over the streets, and they even turn the electrical pole around on the trolley when it stops at Buena Vista Street, just like a real red car would do, because the real Pacific Electric red car ones were just that. They were electric, and they got their power through overhead power lines. These miniature red cars from DCA actually run on batteries. Those overhead wires here, and even the connecting power pole, those are there basically just to add a little bit of realism, a little bit of theming. They don't power the vehicles at all. These guys run on batteries, and then they go charge in that barn backstage every night. So basically, backstage, the trolley barn is where they'd get plugged in for the night. The batteries would be recharged for their operations up and down Buena Vista Street all day long. And if you're getting rid of that trolley barn, well, there's not going to be anywhere to recharge the trolleys. Let me say a word really quick about these 2 cars. You have number 623 right here, and it's believed that that 623 represents Walt Disney's brother, Roy Disney, whose birthday is June 23rd, so 623. The other red car that used to be out here was number 717, and a lot of Disney enthusiasts believe that's because of July 17th, which is Disneyland's birthday across the way. But actually, when the Imagineers were designing these red cars, what they did was head out to the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris, California, not too far away, in a place where I've filmed a couple of times. And for inspiration, they very closely studied a real Pacific Electric red car out there, which is number 717. And that is the very real, authentic 1925 Pacific Electric red car trolley that they took measurements from and got inspiration from to build the ones here. So maybe they kept the number 717 as a tribute to Walt Disney, but it's also a tribute to the real-life red car in a museum just an hour and a half or so away from here that they not only used to create these authentic replicas here at DCA and give them a real authentic feeling, but that last year I actually got on board and drove around the museum, the SoCal Railway Museum, where it is today. Now you'll notice we've been out here for a couple of hours. I mean, the sun is already starting to go down back there. And this entire time, we have only seen one red car rolling by, number 623. And that is because, well, the rumor suggests, and I can't tell you where I heard this, that they've already permanently removed 717. And the even stronger rumor is that one of them, presumably 717, which is rumored to already be off the property, is supposedly going to be sold or auctioned off, although I'd really love to see it, in that SoCal Railway Museum next to its namesake, the original 717. And if the rumors are true, this one, 623, will just stay here and sit out here, presumably right here, on Buena Vista Street or somewhere along the route as a static display or a photo op for people to climb aboard and take pictures and presumably chill out on. But I have to say, I for one am going to be very sorry to see that little piece of life and motion on Buena Vista Street disappear forever, because although many DCA fans speculated that it might return after the Avengers Campus updates and expansions were completed, not only are there now the rumors that 717 is gone and being sold off, but it looks like the red car as a moving vehicle that you can actually ride on is in fact disappearing forever into Disney theme park history, which is a real shame. Now, I can see other reasons for them getting rid of the thing. I mean, after all, you can see from all of these shots that it's very crowded here. Often they have to have a cast member walking in front of it just to get people out of the way. And even though it's slow moving, and therefore it's probably impossible for it to mow anyone down out here, that in and of itself was kind of a disadvantage for traffic. Over here on Hollywood Boulevard, it's plenty wide. In fact, it's plenty wide for two trolley cars to pass each other, as they used to do right here on this little split track. One would be going westbound and one would be going eastbound over here. On Buena Vista Street itself, as you saw, things are much tighter, much more narrow. As I said, that whole original walkway wasn't designed to have any vehicles on it at all. Plus, obviously, staffing. You have at least 2 cast members on board that thing at any given time. And then often, there's extra cast members walking up and down the street in front of it or behind it to get guests out of the way. Then you have to think of the other cast members that are doing maintenance and maintaining these things, the cost of upkeep, etc., etc. And it's not like the red car is bringing guests by the droves. Obviously, the Avengers ride, the brand new Avengers rides, are going to bring much more people than an old trolley car ever could. There's just something so indescribably charming about it. And this is the problem with theme parks. You know, you got the bean counters up there in charge. And even though you have the creative types who really understand that something like this adds a lot more value than simply the amount of people who can ride on it per day or the budget or whatever, in terms of atmosphere and in terms of theming, in terms of guest experience, that warm, fuzzy feeling you're getting traveling back in time to the 20s or 30s in Hollywood or Los Angeles on Buena Vista Street. And even though Walt Disney may have spared no expense when it came to his original Magic Kingdom over there, it's not Walt Disney's company anymore. It's a big, giant mega corporation, and unfortunately, my friends, I gotta tell you, the bean counters are the ones in charge. Still, I have to say, it's pretty amazing that we got this at all in 2012, that they added this vehicle to streets that didn't have a vehicle here before. It cost an estimated $20 million to install this attraction here. That was just a tiny little fragment of the $1.1 billion it took to build Buena Vista Street and to revamp DCA into something a lot more lovable than it used to be. And honestly, I've really enjoyed looking at these red car trolleys going up and down Hollywood Boulevard and Buena Vista Street for the last 12 and a half years that we've had them. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll have noticed how many times the red cars actually had to stop because the horn and the bell haven't got people out of the way, with the parks getting ever busier and ever more crowded because they keep expanding them, which expands capacity. It makes a lot of sense that the old red car there, that slow-moving little trolley that can only fit so many people at a time, is about to become the newest former attraction at the Disneyland Resort. But here's the thing, as much as I've loved looking at these things over the years, and as much as these DCA red cars made it even that much more exciting to go and drive the real Pacific Electric railway car out at the museum in Paris, P-E-R-R-I-S, by the way, it just dawned on me yesterday when I was out here looking at these things that I have absolutely no memory of ever actually being on it and riding it from Buena Vista Street back there to the Tower of Terror. Now, Allie says that she remembers us riding it at least once, and I know what the inside looks like, so it's entirely possible, but for whatever reason, I have absolutely no memory of actually being on board either 717 or this one, number 6 2023. And so, even though the lines have been quite long today, mostly because there's only one of these bad boys, and a lot of Disney fans know that it's permanently going away forever, I think, either for the first time or for the last time, either way, I think today's the day we're gonna have to make it happen, because in fact, it's my last chance to make it happen. I'm going out of town before February 8th, before the final day of its operation, ironically on DCA's birthday, like I was saying, on its 24th birthday. So it's literally now or never for me to take one last ride, or possibly one first ride, on the DCA Red Car Trolley. It's weird, all those little things, like the little banners hanging on the ropes right here, or just the little signs before you board. All these little things that disappear when they remove an attraction like this that you completely take for granted when they're out here on the street. I mean, how often have you actually stopped and looked up the different station signs along the route, or the little safety signs, and then later you see it pop up in some collector's auction, like a heritage auction or something like that, and it'll go for thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, just for every little sign and every little plaque. I'm just sort of soaking it all in today. I got plenty of time to soak it all in because we were about to get on the trolley, but they actually paused operations because Mulan got a little Lunar New Year procession that they do through the park, and they pause the red car during that. So not only does this give me extra time to go look at the signage and Daisy Duck out here, it also gives us a chance to do a little shopping for some giveaways. I've given quite a few things away over the years, some Random Land merch, stickers, even my book, stuff like that. And intermittently over the last 11 or 12 years of the show Random Land being down here, I've given away a little Disney swag, such as pins or popcorn buckets, things like that. And lately I've been giving away a lot of pins. Just something fun I like to do to thank you for watching and going over to Instagram and commenting and participating here. And just yesterday I was thinking, you know what? Whenever I give away pins, I'm always giving away either random Disney pins that are characters, or they are Disneyland specific pins. And I thought to myself, you've never given away DCA specific pins. And so I went on a long hunt through all the different shops at DCA, and even into the world of Disney and downtown Disney. And in DCA itself, I only ever found this one pin that was themed to Disney California Adventure specifically. So I grabbed one of those from in here, from off the page last night. So named, obviously, because they have these animator desks here, and then they have the characters popping, what? Off the page. And I was kind of bummed that I could only find the one pin that was a DCA pin, so I also came over to this penny machine and got the full set of 8 pressed pennies to give away as a full set. These pressed pennies right here that all say Disney California Adventure, either on the front or on the back. Then I continued my quest all the way over to the 5 and Dime, all the way down Buena Vista Street, where a friendly cast member, Omar, pointed out the Lunar New Year Mickey pin over here, which they only sell in DCA, or well, it's themed around the Lunar New Year event at DCA. So I thought, okay, that kind of counts, but I still wasn't satisfied. So when I was walking out to the car, I stopped at World of Disney in downtown Disney, and luckily they had another DCA pin, which was the Starbucks pin. And so now we've got 4 giveaway prizes. All you have to do is go over to my Instagram at Justin Scard. It's 2 R's. 2 of these bad boys. Justin Scard, not Justin Scared. Common mistake. That's okay. I'm used to being called worse. Not by Allie. Allie's very sweet. Just leave a comment over there. Anything about DCA. Did you like the original DCA? Did you hate the original DCA? Did you like it better when they put Buena Vista Street here? What do you think of the trolley cars? Are they obnoxious, too slow, in the way? Or do you love them? Are they an intrinsic part of the charm here? Or leave a comment telling me if you saw our video from the SoCal Railway Museum, where I actually drove the real Pacific Electric red car. Anything you want, as long as it's not profane or filthy or rude. And we will send each one of those pins out to a different person, and that whole set of the pressed pennies out to someone too. All right, I just noticed a lie right here on the sign. Can you spot it? Can you spot it? Not the safety stuff. Look at all the safety stuff there. It's up here in the red car logo. Look at that. It says comfort, speed, and safety. Well, I'm here to tell you only 2 of those things are true. There's only 1 speed for the red car, and it's low speed. One last piece of signage to look at in the fading daylight around the corner here on Sunset Boulevard. And there it is, right over here, right in front of the Tower of Terror. And this has sort of been the terminus, the end of the line for the Red Car Trolley for the last several years, especially since they have built the Avengers campus out here. And I know when you're young, like 12 and a half years seems like a really long time, but to me, now that I'm old, ancient, and decrepit, 12 years feels like nothing. It feels like they've just fixed DCA. They just fixed that old-timey LA theming and made it work. And now, one of its chief gems is going away. All right, we're gonna head back to Buena Vista Street and get in line. So when that trolley comes back, we'll take one final ride. Oh, and by the way, as we wait for the trolley operations to resume, and you can see our friendly trolley operators there about to work the parade. I did actually catch that little Mulan Lunar New Year procession last night. I'll post those clips at the end of the video after our trolley ride, so you can check it out. It was cute. There were cute Chinese dancers and a dragon. There was Mushu, Chippendale. There were swords. In fact, there was even a spear. I mean, when's the last time you saw a spear getting twirled up and down a main street at a Disney theme park, huh? It's funny because our trolley is still here waiting at the station, which I assume they're not getting rid of the station. That's why I assume 623 will probably end up being parked here permanently at the Buena Vista Street station for that photo op. Although they could put it down Hollywood Boulevard. There's plenty of space over there, although it'd be in the way of the parades then. It would make a cute little photo op for like maybe Oswald in a conductor's cap or something like that. It's funny that this 623 is just sitting here waiting for us, but all the trolley operators are down there working for Mulan. Actually, you know what? While this thing's just sitting here, this gives us a chance to peek in at the window. So there's the controls there. You can see there's controls in the front and in the back, a matching set. That way the driver of the old red cars would, and any old streetcar actually in Los Angeles or any major city, would just have to switch sides if the trolley had reached the end of the line and wanted to go back. That way they didn't have to turn the cars around. You just put the driver on the other side. And if you watch my video out at the museum where I drove a real one, you can see exactly how that works, how they actually take, on the real ones, they actually take the little lever off there and move it to the other side every time they switch sides. But look at that, it's very authentic looking in terms of the seats and the materials inside. You got the handrails to hold. I don't think they allow standing room passengers in the Red Car Trolley at DCA. I've never seen them do that anyway. Although they used to have those little singing newsboys that would come out on the trolley with Mickey and they'd sing that Suitcase in a Dream song. They'd be hanging out of the trolley and hanging on those bars. And you can see they also have something they had in the real streetcars, which were these advertisements up here. There were hand-painted ones, there were printed ones. You can see there's stations and route information at the far end. And then all kinds of advertisements for, oh, I can actually see Elias & Company. That's the department store that's on Buena Vista Street. Just a couple of old red car safety signs up there. Clarabelle's hand-scooped ice cream. And then the Hyperion Theater up there. Oh yeah, I could see it up there next to where the driver stands. See that little sign right there? No standing stenciled right into the car. This looks very authentic. It looks very much like the real Pacific Electric red cars used to look back in the day. Man, our city buses could never be this nice now, like our Octobuses or the LA buses. Yeah, I know it's still very much like this in Japan and in certain parts of Europe, but it's almost mind-boggling to me to think of American public transportation being something elegant, something clean, something nice. You know, ladies getting in and men handing up her coin to the conductor so that she didn't have to do it herself. Definitely a whole different era. Then that rotten Judge Doom came along with Cloverleaf and built a freeway. It's ironic now that they're tearing up all of West LA to put in new subways and new trains up and down the freeways, causing all kinds of traffic. They're trying to build something approximating a real public transportation system in Southern California again, and they have been for 20 years, 30 years now, but more than 100 years ago, the same year Walt Disney was born actually, 1901, we had something like this. And it was extensive. It went all the way out to like Riverside County and stuff. It was incredible. The streetcars and the public transportation, the red car was just a small part of it. There were all kinds of streetcars and buses, and it's just wild to think about now. And they tore it all apart and rebuilt all of Southern California so that you basically have to have a car down here now. Anyway, I guess we'll just stand over here and wait for our ride. The good thing is now I've said everything I could possibly think of saying about the red car, so I'll do something I almost never do, which is take you aboard and let you just ride POV style. And I'll say nothing. I'll try to say nothing. I promise I'll try. All right, this is it. They're opening up. I'll try not to talk. Thank you, Ben. Woohoo! All right. I'm gonna sit right up here by the driver, by the pilot, the operator, the motorman, whatever he is. There you go. Some more Signs up there above everyone's heads. Look at the lighting. And just think, it was all public transportation and it was all electric. So it was green before green was a thing. I don't know what they burned to make the electricity back then, but it was electric. So cool. So this driver, Ben, actually, was just saying he thinks 717 might end up being the photo prop, so he thinks it might just be stored somewhere backstage, and they might be fixing it up to be stationary while this one's still running around, so this might be the one that gets sold or auctioned off. Either way, it'd be cool to see one of these end up in the Orange Empire Railway Museum, or the SoCal Railway Museum, I guess it's called now. Ready for one last exciting ride down Buena Vista Street. I just noticed that's the control for the windshield wiper.
Welcome aboard the Red Car Trolley.
All right.
For your safety, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside. And watch your children.
Para su seguridad, por favor permanezcan sentados con las manos, brazos, pies y piernas adentro del tranvía y cuiden a sus niños. Gracias.
Hello everybody and welcome aboard the Red Car Trolley. My name is Andres, I'm going to be your conductor, and up front we do have our talented motorist Julia. We're going to be making a few stops. Our first stop is going to be at the Hollywood Station Boulevard, and after the Hollywood Station Boulevard we're going to be headed over to Sunset Boulevard, which is our final stop, and we do guarantee a one-way trip. So long as there's no line, then we will more than welcome keep you on, but you can always disembark the trolley and head to the back of the line and see if we do have any more space. But again, that's all the way to Sunset Boulevard. But here at Buena Vista Street, if you do want to catch an autograph or even a picture with Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, or Goofy, we do actually have Mickey Mouse over here on the right side. You can catch an autograph or a picture throughout the night, so they'll be walking around through here. We also have here at Carthay Circle on our right our Fiddler Piper and Practical Cafe, which is a homage to those three little pigs. But here we know it as better as Starbucks. Fun fact about that building, it is the only building that's made out of red bricks, due to the fact that Practical made his house out of red bricks to keep the big bad wolf away. We also have our Willie's Churro card over here, modeled after the Steamboat Willie. On that license plate is a quick reference to some of Disney's fun facts. Let me know if you can guess it. 11828. It is a date and a specific date. We are now passing Carthay Station. Normally we would make our stop here, but we're going to actually continue on to Hollywood Station. Here in Hollywood, on our right, we do have our Carthay Circle Restaurant Lounge, which features fine dining, and a reservation is normally required. But if you do want to see if there's anything available, you can always go to the host, or you can check the app for walk-ups. Fun fact about that building, it is themed after where Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs first premiered their animated feature film, the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles. Fun fact about that movie, it is one of the only animated features back in the day that was an hour and a half long. It was predicted to flop, but it became a huge success. It did actually receive some honorary Oscars due to the fact that animation was not a Oscar category. They did receive 1 regular-size Oscar and 7 miniature Oscars for those 7 little dwarves. We are now leaving Carthay Circle and entering the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Hollywood here is themed after, you guessed it, Hollywood in Los Angeles. On our right is the Disney Junior, which is themed after the ABC studio in Los Angeles. We do also have the award winners on the left side, which is a homage to those old Carl's Jr. and Pink's Hot Dog Carts. We do also have our Mickey's PhilharMagic 3D show on the left side. And then we have our Animation Academy building, where we will be making our first stop here on the right side. If you look just in front of that building, you do see different types of Disney, about 70 different types of Disney characters. We're not going to be approaching our stop here, so we are going to ask everybody to remain seated until that trolley does come to a full and complete stop. Those doors have opened and those lights have turned on. If you are getting off here, thank you very much for joining us. We do have one more stop at Sunset Station.
I would never get off here. I gotta make it around the corner. Oh no, it was only our neighbors that left. Was it something I said? Alright, there we go. Turn the lights back off.
Thank you everybody for staying on board here at the Red Car Trolley. We're going to be making our way to our final stop, and again that is the Sunset Station, and we do guarantee a one-way trip. If you look just straight ahead of you, you'll see a road that looks like it goes on for miles and miles. That's due to a movie trick called Forced Perspective, which is used through a lot of Disney parks throughout the street. And you look straight down the castle, and you'll see like it looks like it goes on for miles and miles. Again, we are making a right turn to our final stop, so we are going to ask everybody to remain seated until the trolley does come to a full and complete stop. Those doors have opened and those lights have turned on. It appears that we do have a line, so we will ask everybody to disembark here, rejoin that line, and see if we can get you back on board. Otherwise, thank you very much and have a wonderful night.
There you go, that was it. Yay! We did it! I don't know about you, but I'm gonna try to get back in that line. Oh no, it looks like everybody else had the same idea. That might have been it then. That might have been it. All right, taking a step out, disembarking from the Red Car Trolley. Like I said, you do have those poles up there that connect to the power lines, but those power lines are just dummy power lines. They're just for show, just for theming and just for the effect. We did join the line. We'll see if we get back on or not. Quite a few people waiting over here. A lot of people know that it's going away, and I'm sure it's going to get much busier in the next week. So probably for the best that we're doing this today and not, February 7th or something like that. There you go. They've switched the power pole to the other side, just like they do on the real thing. 2. Okay, we're going to get a head count. This is it. We're going to find out. Do we fit? Oh, sweet. We made it. Oh, I'm allowed to ring the bell? That's awesome. It's just, so it's a button. Okay, so is it a sound effect or is it a real bell?
It's a sound effect.
Okay.
Did you have our horn? You wanted that one?
Oh, yeah. Weird. Thank you.
Julie, can I do one?
That's so cool. All right, I had a feeling they were sound effects. I remember at the museum they told us that Disney came and recorded another one of the streetcars to get the authentic sounds, even I think of the world.
Welcome aboard.
So you'll notice our motorist, that's what they're calling the driver, just simply switch sides because there's a whole other set of controls right over there. So we were in the front of the bus right there. Now we're in the back of the bus.
Hello everybody and welcome aboard the Red Car Trolley. My name is Andres, I'm going to be your conductor, and up front we do have our talented motorist Julia. We're going to be making our way to the main entrance, so if you'd like to stay on board with us as we traverse all the way to the main entrance, you're more than welcome to, and we do guarantee a one-way trip. So if there is a line there, we will ask everybody to disembark and rejoin that line and see if we can get you back on board. Hollywood is themed after, you guessed it, Los Angeles. On our right we do have our Fairfax Market, which is a homage to those markets back in the 1920s, 1930s. We do also have our animation studio on the left, which is a homage to that Burbank studio. We do also have a little homage over here on the right side, which is a production to one of the first animators to work on Mulan. Fun fact about the ABC, it was a radio station, but now it is no more for shows and movies. We are now leaving Hollywood and entering Carthay Circle. Carthay Circle is themed after when Walt first came to California in the 1920s that featured an abundance of mom-and-pop shops, such as Elias & Co., Big Top Toys, Julius Canton Sons, Mortimer's Market, and Los Feliz 5 and Dime. We do also have our storyteller statue over here on the right, again, which features Walt first coming to California with his best friend Mickey Mouse's suitcase and a dream. Fun fact about that statue, it is the only representation that you can actually go up and touch. All other statues of Walt are behind bars. We do also have our trolley treats on the left side. If you look just through that window, you'll see a candy mountain. That was going to be the representation for Matterhorn Mountain. Unfortunately, it did go a different route, but if you look and stand closer, you'll see a little trolley going through that mountain. The bridge just ahead of us, right above us, is homage to Walt's, where he used to live, where he used to take the train down to the Burbank studio with him and his brother. But we are going to be approaching our final stop here at the Buena Vista Street, so we are going to ask everybody to remain seated till the trolley does come to a full and complete stop. Those doors have opened and those lights have turned on. If you are getting off here, thank you very much for joining us. We do have a line, so we will ask everybody to disembark. Again, thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful night.
All right. We did it. We did it. I'm sure you'll be able to look out the window when there's one parked here in the future. This might be the last time we're ever going to get to be in one of these as it's rolling down the street. And that's it. It's all done. Thank you guys very much. That was fun. Thanks for letting me blow that whistle. Woohoo! All right. And there you have it. I didn't expect this adventure to be so long. I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. I mostly thought I just got to go down there and hop on board that streetcar, take one last ride down the track. Turned into a whole day-long activity. As I record this, it's January 29th, which means there's only about 8 more days left of Red Car Trolley operations after this. So if you're seeing this and it's not February 8th, 2025 quite yet, make sure to come down to DCA and hop on board the trolley. There are so many rumors about the red cars, about which one's going to be out here as a static photo op, about where the other one's going, whether it's going to be auctioned off or sent to a museum or sent to the archives in Burbank. I'm sure all will be revealed in due time. But I can tell you, if you're sad that it's going away and you want a real authentic red car experience, just cruise on up to the SoCal Railway Museum in Paris, P-E-R-R-I-S. I'll put a link in the show notes down below. You can actually learn to drive real streetcars out there, as well as get free rides on some LA streetcars and some Pacific Electric red cars that are still out there, authentic ones, the same ones they used to model the one from Roger Rabbit on, which was not a real Pacific Electric red car, but much like this, a replica, although that one was built on a bus frame and actually had bus wheels underneath. This one does ride on the rails, but like I said, is battery powered. You can see he's switching that pole there from the front to the back. And you can watch me and my friend Fake Tyler, or Tuna Tyler as I like to call him now. We actually did that. We operated the real red car, and I had to put that power pole up on the power line and watch it spark. It was very creepy. So you can go out there, you can ride on a real red car, and check that out. I'll also link my whole video down below where we drove a real red car, where we talked about how they work. We were with our friend John. He's almost like a Pawn Stars guest, right? He knows everything there is to know about the red car. So there was a lot of information in that video. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. Don't forget to go over to Instagram. Make sure you're following. Leave a little comment on our picture of the red car trolley over there. Win some pins or pennies, and you'll have done your duty. You can go home and sleep well. Bye, trolley. Now I'm just thinking of Eddie Valiant. Thanks for the smokes. I kind of miss the Rogers neighborhood too. Like, I want to go to the neighborhood of make-believe now. A place where people get on and off the freeway. On and off and on, all day, all night. 8 lanes of shimmering cement running from here to Pasadena. It'll be wonderful. All right, and here it is in a different car barn. Lo and behold, another Hollywood car, number 655. Now this one, ironically enough, was once on rubber tires. A guy had it and turned it into a parade float, but they didn't have it here in time for Roger Rabbit. But this has that sort of butterfly paint job on it, like the one in Roger Rabbit. And by the way, you can see these Hollywood cars are a lot smaller than the big red cars that they used to have. But check this out. Here's an even stronger DCA connection, because up here on 655, John, what were you saying? The inside of this.
It's just like the 717 at DCA.
So they designed it to look like this. And now what kind of years are we talking about
so
here?
This one was 1923. So there were 160 of these made between 1923 and 1925.
But this looks sort of set up to be more like the 50s, right? Like
so this would have been the 1939.
Oh, that's right. So that's why it has the butterfly.
Right.
Is that what it's called? Butterfly paint job?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that is from the late 30s. So that's the Roger Rabbit era. Wow. And so this is where DCA got their paint scheme from.
And then the other one, then the 623, the inside is just like the 717 that we just operated.
Man, this is crazy. So how many of these streetcars are out here? How many different streetcars in total?
Well, we have this one, we have the 717, and then we have 3 more in the back.
And those are just red cars. So how about...
They're all Hollywood. All 3
that's
Hollywood
just the Hollywood cars.
And we've got red cars all over us. We got them all over the place.
And then when you add in the yellow cars, what do you got? Like 100 cars out here?
Well, we have 250 pieces of equipment.
Okay, that's a lot of pieces of
So,
equipment.
I mean, a lot of those are passenger cars. Some of them are tanker cars, gondola cars,
man,
cranes, yeah,
and hand pump cars.
Hand pump cars, which are a lot of fun.
Which we might need to go see next. Mulan's Lunar New Year procession is coming through the streets of Hollywood. I don't have time to sit there and wait for them all to pass me, so I decided to come this way. Ooh, look at this. this. I have not had a chance to see this year. Look at that dragon right there. That is so cool. It's an awfully slow-moving procession, but they're doing, supposedly, according to the narration, traditional Chinese dances. They have some beautiful Chinese dancers over here. I love that dragon. That is so freaking cool. And then back, oh, look at these guys. They got spears. Is that a sword right there? She's got a sword. I wish I was allowed to walk around Hollywood with, well, actually, I'm pretty sure you could get away with walking around Hollywood with a sword. I've seen crazier things in Hollywood. But look at this. Here comes Mulan and Mushu. Right there in front of the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror, whatever it's called. Mission Breakout, whatever it is. Look at Mushu!
Dragon dance is one of Mulan's
and
favorite
Mulan!
traditions. She learned from her
I love those drums, that's cool.
Wise and powerful
I love the
dragon
live
dances
drums
across the
playing.
sky to scare
That
away
Mushu
bad
costume is
luck
really,
and
I mean
bring
costume, what do you mean
good fortune
costume?
to the new year.
That Mushu is a good looking fella. That's what I was gonna say. And then here come Tick and Tack. That's their French names. Chip and Dale.
Her mother
Right behind the procession. I love how Chip is like, I'm not walking, dude.
As an expression of
Dale's down here dancing, flinging a lamp around. Chip is the smart one up there. He's taking a ride. Oh, this is really sweet. They all look so happy. They're so excited that everybody's watching the procession. It's not very crowded over here. Not a busy night, that's for sure. Plenty of space along the sidewalk, probably an open space to come and watch these dancers. I got the fan dances, the umbrella dances. It's not a very long procession. I'm glad I caught this. I didn't come down to celebrate Lunar New Year over here at DCA, so I haven't seen all the festivities. But I've seen a couple of clips of this. I thought, oh, that's too bad I didn't get a chance to see that. And here I am standing on the side of the road in Hollywood, and I got a bonus procession just for me. And all these fine folks over here. All of these fine folks.
Please join them.
I can't get over the girl with the sword. And these gals with the spears. Something about swords and spears being twirled down the streets of Disney's version of Hollywood. Just warms my heart. I don't know why. Pretty awesome watching these guys with the dragon too. Look at that. Look at them dancing around.
This century folk art form.
That's so cool.
Rich heritage of great
Awesome.
and Wushu's favorite ancient art forms. They represent unique
The
grace
sword.
and delicacy.
Was it something I said, Daisy?